So hey guys, Brett's Property Rants, and today, I got pissed off, and maybe you may have seen my live one that I just did, video I just did. But the interesting thing is that the government is just losing it. They're just a bunch of idiots. So they're talking about removing the Section 21 or the no-fault eviction. But anyway, you can watch the live one about my thoughts on that, which is just that it's ridiculous. But I think one of the points is, I'm just reading through the newspapers here, and of course now the papers, one of the papers, I won't say who, but is talking about them being short evictions. What a load of crap. Do you know why they're calling them short evictions? It's because the bloody courts are so friggin' useless, that you cannot get a tenant out for at least 3 or 4 months. It takes so long to go through the whole process from them, for the time they stop paying or the time they do something majorly wrong, where you want to evict them, where they should be evicted, rightfully should be evicted, it takes so long. So yes, if in that relation, it's a short eviction because it's basically you've got to give them friggin' 2 months, then it's a short eviction. But you know what? This is absolutely ridiculous, and it's just another layer of ridiculousness by a government that clearly, I'm amazed they number one, I'm amazed they had even time to think about this, because they're spending so much time on this ridiculous Brexit, and now they're coping with that, or not coping with that. But anyway, it's not about Brexit today, it's about this, Section 21. Really, this is the methodology that you have to use now in a lot of cases to get people out, or get to the point where you can instruct people to get rid of them. It's a lot quicker to do it that way than it is to go through all the other rubbish and the ways they do it. The whole Section 8 process, it just takes so much time, and now so many tenants can abuse the system. We've got one tenant, I mentioned before in my other video, 18 months they've not been paying $1,800 a month for a place. They're not even a tenant. They claim to be a tenant, they're a friggin' permitted occupier, and yet they've been allowed to go from one court to the next, that is passing it all out to the High Court. So far, I imagine there's 40 or 50,000 pounds out of that landlord's pocket in loss of rent, legal costs, in all these sort of things. Even because it's one of our things, I've had to instruct our insurers because of the sheer costs that are involved. It's ridiculous. And this woman even had the audacity to try and get an injunction against us, so that we couldn't do our jobs, and in the end, she got advice and basically got told to pull her head in. But meanwhile, I'm $7.5 grand out of pocket. That's the appalling state of the market right now. Now, Shelter and all these other idiots won't talk about that side of it, which is what landlords are copying and what agents are copying. Add to it 170 bits of legislation. You know what? This is appalling. It's appalling what they're doing. There is no consideration really for what is rational or what is right. It's total knee-jerk. They're not really asking for opinions. They're not really interested in that opinion when they're given. It is just appalling. So, my take on it is, we need to, as landlords, start banding together and having a voice. Otherwise, people like these Shelter bloody idiots are just going to continue to go on and on and on with all this rubbish. We're talking about small percentages of landlords that abuse it, but yet they're applying it, across the whole board. We have over 1,200 properties we manage, and in that, 1,200 properties, very rarely, and in fact, I couldn't even think of one, and neither the guys from my team think of one instance where landlords are abusing their situation. You know what? They want tenants in there. They want to keep tenants in there. Yes, they want to raise rent because their costs are going up. Yes, they want to do all these things. They have to do that. We have to raise rent. And I can tell you, I will be the biggest one to raise rents on these tenants. So, because we need to, with all the additional costs, with, regulations, plus with Section 21's gone, that means more stuff's going to go to court, which is going to take longer. So rent and legal insurance is absolutely going to be needed now, which is another cost. So all these things are just adding to it. It's appalling. Absolutely appalling for what is a small minority. But government isn't interested. It's no use even talking to them. But what we need to do as landlords is band together and have one voice and really stick it to them and tell them that this is not appropriate. Anyway, guys, have a great day, live with passion, and we'll chat soon. Bye.